The house is still when it happens, not the kind of stillness that sleeps, the kind that listens. On the far end of the couch, where the fabric has softened with use, a body is folded in on itself, too tightly, fur drawn close to skin, paws tucked where warmth lasts a second longer. A bobcat lies there without sound. Her breath is shallow, counted, held. Cold has followed her inside. It clings to her whiskers, settles in the pads of her feet. The floor beneath the couch still carries the night. One of the young presses closer, small, spotted. His weight barely dents the cushion. Eyes open, watching. Nothing moves because moving would decide too much. Morning light gathers at the windows. Pale, careful, frost sketches thin lines along the glass. Outside is empty ground and hardened air. Inside, warmth exists, but it belongs to someone else. The room smells faintly of wood and sunlight, and the old certainty that something larger lives here. The mother's eyes remain open, amber, measuring, not resting. Every muscle stays arranged for leaving, even now. A heater clicks once from deeper in the house, then stops. The sound does not return. Down the hall, a door waits. Unlocked. The shape of exit and consequence all at once. If you're listening right now, stay with us. Let us know where you're watching from. The young shifts closer to the warmth. Just an inch. The mother does not correct him. Her tail stays still, wrapped inward. Time stretches thin. This place could change everything, or ask too much. They do not know which. They only know the cold behind them, and the quiet they are standing inside. Please stay till the end. What happens next is quiet, and it decides more than anyone notices. The woman notices the silence first, not the absence of sound, the wrongness of it. The house usually wakes before she does. Pipes settle, wood shifts, air moves where it should not. This morning, everything is held. She stays where she is, bare feet on the hallway floor. The light is already on in the living room. She does not remember turning it on. From the doorway, she sees the couch. Not the whole thing, just the edge, the dip where weight has been resting too long. She does not move closer. Not yet. Her breath slows to match the room. What she sees takes time to become clear. Fur first, pattern second. Then the shape of ears that do not belong indoors. A mother, and her young, curled into the softest place they could find. They do not look at her. They already know she is there. The mother's body is angled toward the hallway. One path out. Nothing blocked, nothing challenged. The young stays pressed against her side, learning stillness without being taught. Outside this room, winter has been thinning the margins. Food shorter, shelter brittle. The trees offer less each week. Wind finds every opening. The land remembers hunger. The woman stands with her hands empty. No phone raised, no sound made. Instinct tells her to step back. Responsibility tells her to decide. Neither feels correct. She does not belong to their story, but the couch does now. The animals carry signs of the season quietly. The mother's fur is dull, where it once held gloss. The young is lighter than he should be, not weak, just careful with his energy. Their past is written in angles and pauses, in how the mother places her body between danger and warmth, in how the young watches before he moves. No scars are obvious. That does not mean the world has been gentle. The woman backs away one step, then another. She closes nothing behind her. She does not call anyone yet. There is time. She sits at the kitchen table where she can still hear the room breathe. Every choice feels loud. Helping could push them too fast. Doing nothing could let the cold finish what the night started. She waits. Minutes stretch, then lengthen. From the couch, the animals do not shift. They do not explore. They do not test the space. They occupy only what they need, as if the house itself might notice, as if permission could be revoked. When the woman returns, she places a bowl of water near the doorway. Not close, not hidden, just present. She slides it across the floor. The sound is soft. The mother's ears turn. Nothing else. The bowl stays where it stops. Later, she adds warmth. A folded blanket placed away from the couch. An option, not an invitation. The animals do not approach. They do not reject it either. This house was never meant to hold them. But for now, it does. And no one is certain how long that will be allowed. By midday, the light has shifted. It no longer reaches the couch the same way. Shadows move across the floor in slow pieces. The woman notices this before she notices herself breathing again. She keeps her distance. Always the same path through the room, never straight toward them, never sudden. The animals track her without turning their heads. The mother watches through reflection. Glass, wood, anything that does not require movement. The young's attention breaks more easily. Curiosity rises, then stops. Hunger waits beneath it. The woman sets a small dish near the edge of the room, not food meant for pets. Something plain, something that smells like effort rather than ownership. She lowers it to the floor, backs away. Nothing happens. Minutes pass. The air holds its shape. The young leans forward first, just enough to stretch his neck. The mother places one paw across his chest. Not rough, not afraid. Final. He stills. Her body remains between him and the open room. Between him and choice. The dish sits untouched. The woman does not return to it. She learns quickly. Every attempt to help carries weight. Every decision presses against trust she cannot see. She moves the blanket closer to the couch. Not enough to crowd. Enough to change the temperature of the air. The heater stays off. Mechanical noise feels like a mistake. The animals shift slightly as warmth gathers, not toward it, but aware of it. The mother adjusts her position so the young is further from the floor. Her shoulder blocks a draft. Her ribs rise and fall a fraction deeper. This is not acceptance. It is calculation. Later, a sound slips from the woman's phone. A vibration. She forgot to silence. The young flinches. The mother rises halfway, muscles tight, ears sharp. The space feels smaller. The woman freezes, then lowers the phone to the counter, walks away without looking back. Her restraint costs something. It costs speed. It costs certainty. She closes herself into the bedroom, leaves the door open. From the couch, the mother does not relax. But she does not leave. That is new. The afternoon thins. Hunger pulls harder. The dish remains where it is. The young looks again. Longer this time. The mother allows it, just an inch, just a scent. No eating. Just information. Trust does not arrive, but resistance softens. The animals stay. The help stays unfinished, suspended between need and fear, waiting for the next move. Night falls early. The room cools in layers. Shadows stretch across the couch and floor. The mother bobcat sits rigid, tail wrapped tightly, ears forward. The young leans slightly into her side, small and tense. Cold presses against the door frames and the windows. Outside, wind slips under eaves. It carries a hardness the house cannot block. The woman sits at the kitchen table. Her hands cradle a mug she does not drink from. Every plan feels heavy. Every movement risks more than comfort. She considers calling for help, then does not. The bowl of water has been refilled once. She wonders if it is enough. If her presence is helping or intruding. The animals do not explore. They do not accept warmth. Their vigilance does not fade. Even the young's curiosity is muted. Time stretches thin. A clock ticks somewhere she cannot see. Every sound feels amplified. Every pause stretches too long. The mother shifts. Not toward the warmth. Not toward the food. Only a slight adjustment in posture. Watching. Calculating. The woman leans back. Her shoulders sag. She feels the weight of waiting. She cannot force trust. She cannot erase past fear. Outside, the wind carries branches against the siding. Inside, the heater clicks, unsure. The young presses closer to the mother. She does not pull him away. The room holds its own quiet tension. Moments pass that feel like hours. Every small sound is examined, every shadow measured. The woman wonders if she is doing more harm than good, if letting them stay is wrong, or if leaving would break everything. Hope is thin, so thin that each breath seems louder than it should be. Silence thickens, time seems to stall. Would you have stopped, or kept going? The couch remains the center of stillness. The animals remain alert, and the night stretches, waiting for what will come next. Morning light shifts differently, not brighter, not warmer, just softer, filtered through a half-closed blind. The woman does not move toward them. She does not speak. She only kneels at the edge of the room, careful to stay low. The blanket she placed the day before is gently tugged closer to the couch. Nothing more. No sudden gestures. No sound. The mother bobcat watches. Her ears flick at the smallest movement. The young stirs slightly. He leans toward the faint warmth without realizing. A breath escapes him, a sound almost swallowed. The mother tenses, then relaxes, just enough to allow him space. The woman does not approach further. She waits. The young takes another small shift, then another. His tiny paws press into the fabric of the couch. The mother adjusts only slightly. Not a word is spoken, not a dish offered, not a door closed. The house seems to notice the shift. Air hangs differently. Time stretches thinly, without urgency. The young finally rests his head lightly against the blanket. The mother's body tilts in response, a fraction closer, an acknowledgement that this place might be safe, or at least bearable. No sudden trust, no leaps, only inches, only small, silent agreements. The woman rises slowly, steps back toward the kitchen, leaves the space empty of human weight, but full of quiet intention. For the first time, the animals explore the couch without fear, not boldly, not recklessly, just with careful, measured curiosity. The mother stretches slightly, easing tension along her spine. The young follows. They move as if testing the air, checking that nothing has changed. Nothing threatens. The balance in the room shifts, subtle, quiet, almost invisible. But the weight of fear lifts slightly. The couch, once a borrowed refuge, begins to feel like a place where they can rest. A small, earned safety. The winter outside remains. The cold still presses at the edges, but inside, a fragile trust begins to settle. No words are spoken, no gestures forced, only the slow acknowledgement that this moment, this quiet act, changes everything. Days pass, slowly, measured. The light moves across the floor the same way each morning. The animals begin to notice it. The young stretches on the couch, just slightly longer each day. The mother's eyes follow, but she does not intervene. Warmth is no longer frightening. It is part of the rhythm of the room. The woman continues her quiet presence. She moves with care, never forcing contact. She sets the water, adjusts the blanket, refills the food. Her hands are steady, her breath controlled. The young ventures closer to her side of the room. Not touching, not claiming, just existing in the same space. The mother allows it. Her body shifts, creating room without pressure. Trust grows in small increments, measured steps, subtle signals, a tilt of the head, a soft exhale. The animals learn the sound of her movement. It does not startle them. It becomes part of their awareness. They discover routine, feeding times, light changes, quiet spaces, all of it predictable. The mother begins to groom the young more often, longer strokes, relaxed muscles. The young stretches his legs fully. Fur glistens again, catching faint sunlight. He yawns without tension. The house feels less like a borrowed refuge, more like a shared space. They move through it with care, not haste, Not recklessness, just presence. Even when she sits nearby, the young curls closer to the couch rather than retreating. The mother allows it. She no longer stiffens at every footstep. A pattern emerges, small, repeated acts of calm. And slowly, quietly, the animals begin to trust the rhythm of this house. The cold outside remains. The season will continue. But inside, the walls carry warmth and patience, and that is enough for now. The morning light has changed, not in color, but in the way it stretches across the floor. The young bobcat lies fully on the couch, limbs extended, chest rising slowly, evenly. The mother sits nearby, relaxed. No tension, no immediate readiness to flee. The house has become more than a temporary shelter. It is a measured home, not theirs by ownership, but theirs by choice. The woman moves quietly through the kitchen. No sudden gestures, no intrusion. The animals notice her presence. They acknowledge it, but they do not depend on it. The young stretches to the blanket. Soft paws press against warmth. The mother settles closer. A subtle curve in her back signals calm. The bowl of water sits full, but untouched for long stretches. Food is approached on their own terms. The couch cushions hold the faint marks of nights spent resting. Not chaos, not destruction, just proof of life, slowly reclaimed. The woman prepares for the eventual transition. A plan she does not announce, one that respects them. The young moves toward the door, then back to the couch. The mother follows, leading without hurry. They step through spaces measured, not forced. The house is quiet. The animals accept help without spectacle. No dramatic leaps, no exaggerated gestures. Just a gentle passage. The winter outside remains hard. The world beyond the house is still uncertain. But inside, warmth, safety, and trust have been earned. The young glances back once. The mother pauses. Then they move together. The couch stays behind. A small monument to patience and restraint. No celebration is needed. No announcement. Just quiet relief. The rightness of this moment is understood without words. The house is still again. Not tense. Not waiting. Just quiet. The couch holds the faint warmth of what was. Sunlight falls across the cushions. Dust motes drift slowly. The woman moves through the room. Hands empty. Breath even. She does not search for signs. They have already left. Outside, winter lingers. The world is unchanged, but the space inside feels different, measured, gentle. The morning air carries no hurry, no expectation, only possibility. The couch is a quiet reminder of trust earned slowly, of patience not wasted, of care given without demand, and somewhere beyond the walls, the mother and young move through the cold, alive, safe, free. The woman stands in the doorway for a long moment, watching, remembering, knowing she did not own their story, but she helped it continue. Calm settles. The house breathes with the rhythm of absence and memory. Light shifts again, slow and deliberate. The journey ends here, not with noise, not with fanfare, but in quiet recognition of what has changed, like subscribe or share to help more animals find safety.